What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. A few things I want to touch bases on before we get started with our day here in the garage. Bronson's Turbo EK is still on the driveway. It was supposed to be picked up today, but it was rescheduled for tomorrow because he is trying to get it on the dyno. So that way he can make it a one trip with the trailer to pick it up from me to the dyno. And if he does go to the dyno, I'm going to try to be there as well too. Secondly, if you guys don't remember, the homie Eric with the Integra, we case swapped. I called him earlier to kind of touch bases with him to see where he is at with his trip. And it seems that he's already made it to the East Coast. 2,900 miles, 60 hours of driving. The K20 Type R swapped Integra made its maiden voyage. And I'm super stoked about it because I've done a lot of swaps in a lot of cars here on the driveway, but I've never driven it 60 hours straight, 2,900 miles to a destination. And to know that his Integra made it all the way out there with not a single problem, that's freaking awesome to hear. If you guys haven't seen the last video, we fabricated the rest of the work on Bronson's Turbo EK, and I also mentioned that I was gonna take a couple of days off to kind of clean the garage because I've made a mess now between the three cars, the Integra, the CRV, and now the Turbo EK. I kind of want to reset my garage. But I figured I'll just take you guys along with me. Reason for that is because some of the stuff that we need to move needs some work done to it before I find a home location. Let me explain. So we've acquired a lot of engine in the last couple of months here in the garage, and my walk space is literally getting really narrow. So just want to run you guys through everything really quickly. This transmission came out of my blue car. I blew third gear on it and I swapped the transmission out. All the guts for that transmission is here on the floor because we're going to be needing a lot of the stuff here for the PPG gears. So transmission sitting right there. This is the piston rod K20 short block that we're going to be swapping into my blue car as well too, and that's not going to happen until after Race Wars. So this guy is just going to sit here for the time being. If you guys remember this engine right here, this is a JDM K24A RBB3. This is the engine we picked up and pretty much got it all set up for the homie Chewy and his avocado wagon. And I don't know what the update is. I don't know what he's up to or what he's doing. All I know is that it's just been sitting right here. All his parts and everything he ordered is also on the floor in the back. And I think this is one of the engines I want to move today because I kind of want it out of my walk space. So we're going to move that. Right here we have my old K20a2 short block. This is the one that we made 600 horsepower in, and apparently in this sleeve at the bottom it potentially has a crack. So I dropped off another short block to get worked on, and this is now just a core if I want to do like dart and sleeve or something, and then the oil pans that pertains to that. This is the Facebook K20a2 that we're going to be working on today. This one needs a bunch of new valves, but instead of doing the valve and the head work, I'm actually going to be swapping a spare K20a2 head that's already been machined and everything. So we're going to be prepping this engine to get it all ready to go back into the silver car. These right here are all Bronson's old stuff. Everything on the red rack belongs to that car as well. This is the Facebook EP3 transmission that I'm going to open up and do the max peeling rod LSD. So that's going to sit somewhere here until we get to it. This short block right here is a B20 short block that Bronson gave to me, and he said apparently has like a spun bearing or something, but he don't fully know. So we're gonna dive into that soon. And if you guys don't remember, we talked about doing an all motor B20 VTEC, and I think this might be the core, although it's painted freaking orange, right? I know a lot of people had questions about what happened to the GSR motor that came out of that Integra, and yes, it's still here. And this was actually a gift from Eric. I mean, going to the East Coast, there was no way he was going to take this engine with him all the way to the East Coast in his Integra. So he gifted me this, and very thankful for that, Eric. I appreciate you. I know a lot of you guys have been asking about what is going on with the B8 and C1 and is it for sale. He gifted it to me. I'm gonna cherish it. It's not for sale, so please stop asking. I'm gonna have to find a home location for this as well too, just to kind of get my tool walk space back, right? A bunch of distributors and stuff right here I need to go through because we're going to convert the EF2 to coil pack. So I need to find one that works, that we need to modify for a custom Nomis slim cap. We'll dive into that later. Belly pan, slicks, and everything goes with Bronson's car. The exhaust system I got to put in the backyard. That crack short block, I'm probably going to toss it right there because that's where the other short block was at. Obviously, there's a bunch of other engines sitting around, but we're not getting to any of these until later. So today is kind of like a garage cleanup slash engine preparation on this guy here. So with that being said, man, let's make some progress today. So everything that was on the dolly on the floor, I moved it out of the garage along with the red rack. Now the red rack is not supposed to be in here permanently. It's a collapsible rack that I'm using for all the parts that belong to the silver sedan. And once everything goes back into the car, the rack will be collapsed again and put away. But look at how much space we just cleared up here in the garage. This is originally what it looked like before I accumulated a bunch of stuff. So eventually, in due time, when everything goes to where they belong, this is what I want the garage to kind of look like again. I'm also at this point right now that because I've moved everything out, I kind of want to like rearrange stuff. I don't know if I want to do that today. I'm already getting a bunch of ideas in my head right now, but the ceiling cam right here, I mentioned that I was going to rebuild this to a OE specification. I have all the replacement parts in here, but the problem is every time I order a ball hone, a flex hone for 75mm, they always send me the wrong product, and I don't know where to order it that won't break the bank, and I'm specifically looking for the flex hone. The other one that they sent me that I bought for the 75mm is actually an 83mm. I didn't bother to send it back at all, but flex hone's up there, and I just need the right one so we can do something with this single cam. I don't want to like hassle with, you know, taking it off, putting it back on later. If somebody knows the correct part number for flex hone and where I can get it to hone this cylinder out, we'll do a single cam rebuild. And yeah, we're gonna do a single cam build later down the road. If you guys don't remember, I have two single cam all-wheel drive transmission, and I have a spare D16 Z6 cylinder head. I just need a short block so we can commence the single cam build, which I want to do like Vitaras or SRP pistons with whatever rods I can get my hand on for a little bit of boost. Not this turbo setup, but for boost. You guys see the sun setting right there? That is because I've been standing here in the garage contemplating for 2 hours since the last clip. 2 hours about contemplating on moving the shelf this way, because right now it's currently sitting like that. The whole idea of setting it up like that when I first did it was because I wanted an aisle, right? It's like an adult candy store. You walk through the aisle, there's stuff left and right, but I figured throughout whatever, how many years ago I did this project, every time I needed to access something on this end of the rack when the garage is closed, I'd have to like, you know, kind of hop over everything to get to whatever I'm looking for, right? So instead of dealing with that hassle, I want to move this rack, like swing it over here and get rid of this, or move this somewhere else, just so that this whole entire section to that rack is cleared out. Another thing too is this garage fell off the track a couple months ago, and it was kind of hard for me to like retension these springs up here because this rack is obviously in the way. When the garage is closed, I had to like, you know, kind of hop over everything to get to that bar to tension the spring, where if I had the rack this way, garage is closed, I can do everything kind of like just right here. And I need to redo it because one side of the tension spring is tightened more than the other side, which is why the garage is not hooked up to the motor right now. It's manual, and I've been opening and closing my garage manually for the last couple of months, and it'll just make it easier for me to tension those bars when this rack is not in the way. Also, with this rack moved this way, I'd have more space going that way for, you know, one, ease of accessibility with all my stuff, and two, more space to like, you know, if I have engine stands. There were only supposed to be 2 engine stand here, but because I acquired that engine, I went to the storage unit to grab that rack. Now I have 3 engine racks or engine stands sitting here. 2 hours I've been contemplating, and nothing has moved or changed since the last clip. I think what I'm gonna do right now is rough cut everything. I think I'm going to start shifting a bunch of stuff around just to get that rack here, and then I'm probably just gonna toss everything into the garage because it's like 8 o'clock right now. It's kind of weird to see the sun still out, but it's 8 o'clock right now, and I know this is gonna take me an hour or two to do, and I don't want to be here in the garage all night. Granted, tonight is the weekend, it's my live stream weekend, and I gotta edit a video tonight, so I'm gonna rough cut and just move all the shelf around. That's what I'm gonna do. Let's get to it. Guys, this rack was super hard to move by myself, and I shouldn't have done it by myself, but I wasn't putting a lot of like back into it. I used my 3-ton jack to kind of help shimmy it. I jacked it up one side, moved it, jacked it over the other side, moved it, and now it is butted up against my welding table. So everything is just kind of loosely sitting in place. The pegboard is going to go back up, but it's just loosely in place because I've been moving stuff back into the garage, my power tool rack and like stainless steel consumables. This rack, I decided to kind of lean it against the big rack because one, it sits further in than the CRV table, so that means we gain a couple of inches of space, and as long as I don't keep a lot of shit right here on the walkway, this is perfectly fine. Easy accessible to all my power tools and such, because the engine used to sit in front of it and I would have to like lean over every single time I need something. So now I can walk up to it and grab whatever I need. Take you guys over here. We gain about a quarter more space than the square that we had before. So if you look, we had space to about right here, and now we have pretty much, actually that's almost doubled up, to be honest with you guys. But obviously when everything goes back in, it's going to look a little jam-packed. But I can assure you guys, by the time we end this video, I will be consolidating a lot of this stuff. A lot of stuff is going to be leaving, like Bronson stuff, exhaust system, backyard, all of this. I'm take it to the parts store to drain the oil out. This rack is going to be empty once everything goes back in. And a lot of the engine stuff is, one, goes in that car, that I can store it, that's going to be in the car, that's going to be in the storage unit, that stuff goes for Bronson, etc, etc. But I'm super happy overall because we gain a ton of space, and I'm actually kind of liking the layout, and it feels a little bit more like my nook, because, or man cave if you want to call it, because it's more closed off, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it looks like a mess, but I'm going to continue moving a bunch of stuff into the garage, and then I'm going to go on the live stream and I'll pick back up with you guys tomorrow. Quick little update for you guys. Yesterday, Bronson came over to pick up his Turbo EK along with all his parts, and he was trying to get a dyno session the same time he is using the trailer. So we called Geif. Geif said he was available and that his tune time was 5:30 yesterday. And granted, Bronson came early in the morning and picked up his car. There was a few hours in between before his dyno sesh. So because I just went to sleep before Bronson showed up, after he left, I went back to sleep to kind of get more hours of sleep, and unfortunately I slept like another 7 hours, and I woke up at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Bronson just came off the dyno, so I missed the entire dyno session, unfortunately. But I hope Bronson got some clips for us to throw at the end of this video. I'm gonna be transparent with you guys. From what I was told, the ATK 44mm wastegate was stuck kind of closed, and the car was over boosting. No matter what my tuner did, the car was making 21 pounds of boost, which was a little much, but because we're just trying to get the car to Race Wars, they ended up tuning the car out at 21 pounds, which the car was tuned at 21 pounds before. It made 450, I believe it was, and that's a little crazy for a stock LSVtec, but 450, 21 pounds of boost, the car, run, drive, two-step, everything's working like it should. And I guess Bronson is gonna drive the car like that, and then we're gonna change everything after Race Wars. Granted, Bronson don't really have a lot of time because of work and family. The car is just gonna go to Race Wars the way it is. So we're back here in the garage today, and I've already kind of shifted the GSR over there. I'm not entirely sure if that's where it's going to sit for right now, but it's out of the way for right now. The Xeon cam, I moved it out from over there because it's probably going to sit somewhere here as well too, because obviously I need access to my toolbox. B20 block is probably going to go to the storage unit. The EP3 transmission is staying in the garage because we're going to be doing that Max P rod LSD. Now this rack right here, if you guys look at it, I'm gonna hold the camera straight, it's kind of leaning a little bit because the other day when I was moving it around, I broke that wheel, and this rack is kind of like KO'd. Not really KO'd. I can't fix it because of all the stuff that's on here. So goal is to try to get as much of this stuff onto the engine just to kind of lighten up the rack. And the goal again is to get this rack out of the way once everything goes back into the silver car. So right now it's just going to sit right there. Or actually, I lied. I moved everything out because I want to move this rack a little bit forward because I need to put my S1 banner back on right here. It's going to go in front of all my wheels and tires at the bottom, just to kind of, you know, display the S1 because they're family. And the Nomis one, I moved it over here to my welding table. So on this end, we have the Nomis Industries banner on top. And this is awesome for every time I weld. You guys will see it right there. If you guys remember the new turbo manifold that we swapped into Bronson's Turbo EK, the brand of manifold he ran is called Rev 9, right? And we didn't use any of these gaskets because I don't prefer these, and also the studs were short. So we ended up using like a Pro multi-layer gasket instead. And remember this, okay? You guys see that? If you guys remember Eric's K-Swap Integra, we used the Circuit Works header, and we also used like a Pro gasket, and we didn't use the provided stuff from that company, Circuit Works. Rev 9 Circuit Works. Check this out. This is the gasket from Eric's Circuit Works header. Rev 9 Circuit Works. It ain't stupid if it works. I already broke all the 12s loose. Don't use an impact, even though I've seen a lot of people do that. The head gasket looks okay. Minor little peel here, but not all the way through. Here are the pistons. Cylinder walls don't look bad, but the fact that all of these are like loose on here, interesting. This is a very, very soft brush. I'm going to clean the pistons a little bit. Okay, so it looks like there's no metallic in the pan, which is good. A little bit of water in here, probably from, you know, previous owner pressure washing this. These are RTV. Inside the pickup tube looks good. There is nothing in here whatsoever. I'm gonna pull the windage tray off just to kind of look at the rods real quick. Ideally, this is like the best time to put new bearings in, but I don't have any bearings, so we're not. No up and down movement, which is good. There is going to be a little side to side, obviously, but up and down is what you don't want. Okay, so they all have a little side to side, which is okay. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and clean all the RTV off, flip this block back, and then we're gonna install the cylinder head. So if you guys remember, the KRX was a K20 when we first built this car in 2020, and I had it in here for about 2 years before I spun the bearing on the track. So the block is what I sent out to get the piston rod for the blue sedan. This is the cylinder head that belongs to that short block, and this was rebuilt, and then I kind of put it away because I didn't really have any plans after the fact when we swapped in a K24. So this cylinder head is pretty much ready to go, and this is what we're going to be using. That cylinder head came off this block, and this is the one that has a bent valve, or at least all the tests leads me to believe that it has a bent valve because it had no compression whatsoever, and the timing was 90 degrees off. So this cylinder head, we'll save it for a rebuild. Right now, we're going to attach that cylinder head. I do have a brand new Honda K20a2 head gasket that we're going to be using, and we are going to be keeping it with the stock head bolts because we've made power with them no problem. The ARPs that I got is for the built block right here, and the new built block has L19s. So I'm just going to keep it fully stock motor, and we're going to go ahead and install all of these guys along with the dowel pins. Don't forget these. When we rebuilt the K24 and the KRX, we used our phone to find 90 degrees. When we were torquing it down, me and Nomis, we had the phone like double-sided tape to the bar that we were using. So he just put me onto this tool right here, got off of Amazon. Quickest, easiest, simplest way to clock your 90 degrees. Pretty cool. So this thing has a little dial on here to tell you all the degrees, and it has an adapter here for your 1/2 inch wrench, and right here there's a magnet. You can remove this, or you can use a clamp to kind of hold the gauge steady. Got our socket right here on the bottom. I had to use an adapter because the head bolts are a 14-12 point, and I don't have one in a 1/2 inch. But on the top here, 1/2 inch. You can use a torque wrench, you can use a regular breaker bar, you can use a long ratchet like I am right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on the first bolt. I'm gonna find a spot to clamp this down. There's a little knob right here. You can turn the dial to 0. And then you pretty much crank your 90 degrees. We're gonna shoot for right there. 90. Set this back to 0. $90. All right, so that is our first round of 90 degree. Now you got to do it in sequence one more time. If it's a brand new head bolt, you got to do it 3 times. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out. 12s are 16, 10s are 8.6, 9, somewhere around there. This right here was a new tensioner for this car, and the new timing chain also was put into this car. If you guys saw the video when we picked up this engine originally, we did the compression test and it had like 85 psi, 85, somewhere like 83, and then I didn't even bother to finish the rest of the compression because we already knew then we had a bunch of bent valves. So we're gonna test this real quick before I close up the timing cover and the entire engine, and then further like attach everything else that needs to go on. Got my jump box right here. Power to starter power, ground anywhere in the engine. I'm just gonna leave it right there on the starter. I have a button right here with 2 wires on it. One is gonna go to the power, the other one's gonna go to the starter signal. Let me go ahead and connect my jump pack. This is gonna be a little sketch because the engine's gonna wanna rotate quickly while it's on the engine stand, but I've done this before. A little sketch, but we didn't die, so, you know. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on. Set to 0. Power up. Hit the boost. It says ready. $200 plus. That is freaking awesome. And if you guys listen to the revolution, we're not like cranking it to the moon, literally. There's no point in going further when it's already maxed out at 200. Number 2. Also exceeded 200. Cylinder number 3, max 200. Cylinder 4 also went past 200. Obviously, it is the next day, guys, and yesterday we got the K20a2 all assembled. Everything that I could throw on the engine right now is on the engine. Let me show you guys. So this is what we did yesterday with the new cylinder head, intake manifold, the water pump housing, all the timing components, the oil cooler, got the flywheel that was originally on here. I did do a new rear main seal just to show you guys. Here is the old one right there. Pretty much assembled, ready to go. Needs a clutch. a transmission, and all of this can go back into the car. Today's main focus was this red rack right here. Everything that belongs to the silver sedan has been organized and consolidated. I'm just trying to knock off as much as possible from this rack to kind of pull some weight off of that broken wheel down there. So on the top, the bumper is probably going to go back into the car. Shift linkages and such is going to get piled with some other stuff we're going to take to the storage unit. Right here we have the intercooler radiator combo with the charge pipe. I kind of just stuck it in there to make sure everything's accountable for. Clamps, couplers and such. Right here we have the cam holders and cams that I need to put back into that cylinder head that we popped off yesterday. Put it in a bag and then just kind of put it away for when we are ready to like rebuild this cylinder head. Catch can, need to clean it a little bit. It's kind of dusty and oily. Downpipe along with the turbo kit, manifold, turbo, wastegate, dump tube. I'm probably just going to leave that together because I don't have a place for it. Axles also belongs to the silver sedan, but for the most part we've kind of taken off a lot of weight from this rack, and all the miscellaneous small stuff, bolts and such, is still here on the table. I am organizing this currently, so everything that belongs to the silver sedan has been organized in baggies already. So I know where all the hardwares are at, and all the stuff that belongs to that car is also in this little box. V-bands, release bearing, feed line. This box right here has been consolidated months ago. All of this stuff right here belongs to the built short block that's sitting right there. So all of this is for that block. These are the ARP head studs. This is the timing cover for that. So I still need to clean like these lines and stuff because there's oil inside of it from when the engine blew up last year. And oil pan, clean all that up because I need to pile it up with the other oil pans over there. Motor mounts, I accounted all the bolts for the motor mounts, and I just ordered these bolts right here. And if you guys remember, we swapped Eric's Integra with the K20. His Half-Sport motor mounts didn't come with any hardware, so I ended up robbing mine for his, but I got new hardware coming for that. The bushing was super shot. Mind you guys, this is eBay. The bushing was super shot, and in case you guys didn't know, Half-Sport bushing fits perfectly in it. So anyways, motor mounts for the silver sedan, and just a few more odds and ends, and I think I might have just given you guys quite a bit here in this video. I've just been taking my time cleaning the garage and everything, and it still looks cluttered a little bit to me because all of this stuff right here, like I need to find home locations for this box. This is all my paint equipment, piston and rods like I mentioned. This harness right here is trash. This one right here came off the K20a2 Type R. Probably use that for a later build. My tool bag for the junkyard. Right here we have a bunch of gas canisters. I think this one has gas and this one has gas. This one's empty, this one's empty, this one's empty. I want to get like a flammable cabinet for the backyard just to kind of put these away because I don't know what octane those are. I don't want to just randomly throw them in the car. I got too many jack stands. I'm not sure where they came from. I got 2 right there, 2 right there, 2 right there, 4 over there. I gotta find home locations for those. Just empty containers. This is all the guts for my all-wheel drive transmission that we're gonna need, so I'm gonna consolidate those as well too, because all the stuff sitting on the floor is getting caked up, and I don't really care about this because the gears are all broken. So anyways, man, we've been going at it here in the garage, and I'm kind of liking the layout. Aside from, you know, it looks cluttered a little bit, but man, we got so much freaking space now, and I'm happy that I did this because I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. Replacement subframe for the KRX because it is super duper bent from all the jerking the car does. The car definitely needs a retune, but anyways, I'm gonna chip a little bit more and try to get as much done today before we cap out this video. Got some gasoline right here on this cylinder, and it's bleeding out of the intake side. You can see all that right there. I did this one right here. This one was bleeding out of the exhaust side pretty good, but yeah, that is not sealing. So we got the K series stuff moving to the garage right here. I got a couple of stuff I'm gonna take to the storage unit. All that needs to go to the parts store to get the oil dumped out. All my K series stuff has been cleaned and wrapped in saran wrap. I have to find home locations for all of this new alternator. I got to clean my table. Wiring harness goes into the wiring box up there. Wiper blades for my JDM EF2. So I got to go through all of that on the floor. Gotta find home locations for all the gas canisters. Brand new rear strut bar. This was gifted to me, so I'm gonna find a use for this later. And I'm overall super satisfied with the amount of space that we've acquired shifting things around. I really like that the shelf is on this side now because I have more wall, so it makes it feel like my man cave, you know what I mean? I kind of like it. On the outside, you can't even tell that this nook is here. Then when you come across, you're like, oh, what the hell? T-shirt station, welding station. This also acts like a little office for me as well too, I guess. But I'm also very happy that my t-shirt station has been cleared out a little bit here, aside from the valve cover. But I want to get back into doing t-shirts because it's been about 3 months that I haven't done t-shirts. And I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's bought t-shirts from December, January, February. You guys helped me acquire more inventory to be able to make t-shirts on the fly. But I've shown you guys that we have a bunch of like unreleased designs. Tiger CRV, the static wagon, and I kind of want to get back into it. So table's cleared. Hopefully I get to this soon and stop procrastinating. But I would love to add more to this video, right? Because this is my off day, just kind of show you guys a lot of the things I do typically would have been off camera. But I would love to add more, but my brother requested that I work on my nephew's CRV because he's going to be driving it from NorCal to SoCal here soon, and I need to get it ready for the road. So maybe a video on CRV stuff as far as like basic maintenance and just, you know, some stuff he wants me to change out. I'm gonna have to get on that and kind of put a pause to the whole garage cleaning organization thing, because there's still a lot I need to do to make this garage look right to me. And I'm not worried about it because we've already got the big stuff knocked out of the way. It's just all the little stuff left to do. But anyways, Bronson did send me a bunch of videos and pictures of his car on the dyno when he picked it up from me. So I am going to wrap up this video. I will throw all of Bronson's stuff at the end of this clip, but I hope you guys enjoy the garage reorganization a little bit. If you guys did, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for either CRV stuff, some KRX stuff, and man, we're going to get ready for Race Wars here soon, June 13th, June 14th. So if you guys want to see some preparation, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.